certified gunman. Even though Eddie ain't done his thing today, I still retain faith. I don't want it to come out either or. Look at the run from Balogun. That's a gunman run from Balogun. That's a skate. Look at it. He just made the run. First half, man weren't getting into that area. That's why I'm so happy for Balogun, you know. That's why I'm so happy for Balogun. Just because he got into that area. That's one thing in the first half I don't think was shown enough. People weren't gambling. Balogun gambles. With Balogun, he looked very cerebral today in the little moments he got. With Balogun, he has a high IQ. Now, listen, people, what I don't want this to become is Balogun or Eddie. Eddie versus Balogun, you know. Comparison is good. We should have that. In an ideal world, they're both excelling, you know. But Eddie played poor today. If he scored, there'd be less question marks. Obviously, we had Balogun coming off the bench and scoring with like 30 seconds, it felt like. Eddie missing a barrage of chances. The best one he missed, you know, the highlight was obviously going to be the Pepe one. For me, I think Balogun is more intelligent. I think he's got more to his game. I think his runs are better. I think he's more proactive. That being said, I think Eddie Nketiah is ahead of him right now because he's played more games. I mentioned Eddie's still not experienced enough and he's only played 50 times. Balogun has played twice for Arsenal Football Club and not played 90 minutes. As much as I like him, as much as I want to talk him up, as much as I rate him and think he should be integrated and used, you know, he hasn't played 10 games. And you know how quick fans are. Some fans ain't seen him play and they're going to sing his name like the Messiah. And they have been. And in 10 games, when he has a bad game, or like Eddie, you know, because it will happen, it happens to every striker, he misses a tap-in, is the energy going to be the same? Let's retain faith in Balogun. Let's wait for him to develop, you know, and then we'll see. And for what it's worth, I'm not here to say Balogun's going to be world-class and whatnot, but you know me, I love Highland players. I'm ecstatic for Balogun today. He's been working very hard for this opportunity. He's been scoring goals for fun and playing very consistently at under 18s. He deserves this moment. I think he's going to be a very good player for us. Like the same for Tyrese John-Joe. I think they both could develop and become players for us, people. But let's give them time. You know, Balogun, everybody loves him. Within 10 games, is it going to be the same energy? For me, I'm happy Balogun did that because he's shown his manager, yeah, I don't know what you're doing with Eddie and Laka, but I'm also here and I'm ready to take chances, people. You know, Balogun's kind of been fortunate because there's no Tyrese. Eddie's moving Buki. Take advantage of the pecking order and have something to say. And with our players underperforming, with Pepe missing, you know, I'd be surprised if I genuinely feel Balogun's played his way into that squad in Watford for the Wolves game. Apologies, that doesn't mean he's going to start, but be involved. I've got a lot of time for Balogun. Let's just take our time. It's a fantastic moment. It's a Highland boy. It was a Highland goal with Smith Rowe assisting. Love that from Balogun. Love that. Ecstatic for him. It's a fantastic moment for him and his family, you know, because, you know, he's going to go home and he's going to get the love from the fans and us. But it's going to hit different when his brothers or, you know, his mom or his cousins and whatever will holler him. And for me, I'm ecstatic for the coaching staff at Highland. There's no assurances a man's going to be a professional footballer. So think about all the times, I don't know where Balogun's lived or what his family did for a living, but I know they must have had to take man for years 4 times a week to Highland and whatever, you know, 3 times training, 1 time a match and wherever, you know. So it's a bit of repaid faith for him. These are good moments, scoring your first goal, getting your first scholar, getting a pro deal. Hopefully Balogun believes he's got a future here and hopefully he signs a new deal. Now, that being said, he's probably put a couple more zeros on that contract now because we've heard rumors of contract talks. If I'm Balogun and his advisors, I want to know concrete what Arsenal's plans are for me. That doesn't mean I think I have a divine right to be in the lineup or anything. I want to know the plans. How do you see me as a footballer? Where do you see me in 12 months? Where do you see me in 2 years? Where do you see me in 5 years? You know, it's fun. I love that I scored, but really, am I going to get consistent 90 minutes? If so, what's the plan? And maybe if a club in Germany or another team can offer you that, maybe that's something to be said. That goal has put a couple more zeros on his price tag, hopefully, and a couple more zeros in his agent sort of pocketing what he wants and his contract. You know, we know Balogun, we've rejected Sheffield and Brentford bids, you know, and we're almost approaching the last month before he can agree moves to foreign clubs. Allegedly, there's a buy option. I mean, not a buy option, a clause in it, a contract extension clause in his deal. I don't know that to be true, but I trust the person who said that. So that might be why Arsenal have appeared a bit laxed. But I'm happy for Balogun. Long may it continue. But let's be careful. Lovely for Smith Rowe to get some minutes. Clearly, he's not fully fit and he's not fully, you know, in tune. He's working his way back. But it's lovely for him to get an assist. And you saw the aggression in his run. You saw how he was moving and stuff. It was amazing. It was amazing from him, people. It was absolutely amazing. what I was seeing from the individual people, from Smith Rowe with his movement. Okay, amazing, might be overdoing it, but I like that he was moving. He looked good on the turn. He looked to get onto the ball. He got his assist. I'm happy for him. You know what I like is Balogun took the moments he had and made sure Arteta has something to remind him of. You know, and hopefully that puts a spring in his step. Smith Rowe took his chances. I think Joe Willock started well, and then towards the end of the first half, he kind of plateaued a bit, and then he came back on it in the second, and he was involved in at least 2 of those 3 goals. And I think Joe Willock looks 10 times the better player when he's in that deeper role, when he's in that number 8, when he's driving and things, when he's intercepting and driving and trying to pass it to other players. He looks better than when he's trying to receive the ball on the turn and stuff. He's not a natural 10, so he's always going to struggle. You know, Ljungberg, Arteta, you know, Emre, they've all played him in that role, you know, and what do I know ahead of any of them? But I just remember I was pleasantly surprised when Arsene Wenger played him in that 8 role, and he was surprising because, ironically, from what I've seen in the academy, he was excelling in the advanced midfielder role and occasionally on the wing. I didn't know he had that much to his game, you know. I think Joe Willock's done very well. Will he play against Wolves? Who knows? Because we don't know who the midfielders are. Will Nene be back from COVID? Will he be past fit? Who knows? Will obviously my man Thomas Partey be fit? Who knows? But I think he took his chance. Smith Rowe took his chance. Reece Nelson took his chance. Like you saw, Reece Nelson took his chance very well, people. In my humble opinion, you know, with Reece Nelson, like I said against Leeds in his cameo, what you want to see from Reece Nelson is better end product now. You know, can your crosses be a bit more persistent and polished when you take on a man? Can your decision making be better? Can you shoot with a bit more venom? Because he done one lovely 1-2 with Lacazette, and if his end product was slightly better, he would have grabbed the goal there. And I'm happy he got his goal as well, because he deserved that. He worked hard. I think him, Luis, for me, and Pepe were probably the brightest players within the first half. And I think Nelson should play against Wolves. Nelson's time is coming. As I said, people, when you look at it, when everybody's fit, you know, the Joes, the Nelsons, the Eddies, these lot would struggle for game time. But losses of form, injuries, all these things are opening up gaps in the team. It's either Pepe or William. William's form's been iffy, and we don't know right now if he's going to be fit for the game on Sunday. You know, Pepe can't. Nelson sees your opportunity. We're not asking you to be the best thing since sliced bread, but grab your opportunity and slice up something, you know. Go and make a position of your own. Go and seize yourself. Smith Rowe, you're probably going to have to be a bit more patient for more game time, but your time will come. Competition is good. Take your opportunities. Eddie and Kay, if you was taking your opportunities with Lacazette, Arsenal might be saying, no, you know what? We're not going to buy another striker because we've got you. Take your opportunities. And that's what I hope Balogun can do. Let's not put too much pressure on the young man. Like I said, you don't know what you're going to get from Balogun for 10 games. He needs to develop. You need to give him time without pressure. You know, how much you can protect him, I don't know, because people that haven't watched him for 90 minutes before he even scored or kicked a professional ball for Arsenal were watching fancy clips and proclaiming him as a messiah, which he very well could be. But you don't know that same energy that people apply, it turns and stuff like that. The only one that concerns me is Eddie Nketiah. Now, I don't want people to turn on Eddie. I want people to support him. I don't want people to use Balogun as a stick to bash him. Eddie needs to hold his hands up. He was far too greedy for me. Whether that was because he was getting minimal opportunities, I don't know. But he was far too greedy. There was times you should have passed. He was being selfish. You know, that's the difference between Saka. He makes the right pass. You're just thinking about the glory and, you know, doing your little imagery. Numerous times he could have slipped people in on the peripheral. Obviously, he snatched at chances, and how he missed that opportunity Pepe slipped him in for, I don't know, people. But he found a way to do that. And he played like someone as well that knew that you're not getting much opportunities. For Balogun, for Balogun, it makes, you know, Balogun is just a stick to beat Eddie with. But let's retain our faith in him. Let's develop. There still could be a player of some level in Eddie. I don't think Eddie's going to be the best striker in the world, but I think he could offer something to the squad. If he doesn't, we need him to develop to the best he can be so we can make a couple pounds on him, sort of thing. Because I personally think Balogun and Tyrese John-Jules, while they're behind in their development because they've played less men's football, I think they've both got something to their game. You know, Balogun at a push can play out wide as well and excel there to a slight degree. You know, Tyrese can do what Lacazette was doing and drop a bit further. You know, there's stuff that can be done in that regards, people. There is a lot of talent within Haaland, you know, and they're taking their chances. Who else was I gonna speak about? I covered Joe Willock. Eddie just needs to just stop snatching at chances, just calm down. You know, I do think he needs a loan, but right now I'd keep him until the end of the season because it's either him or Lacazette. It makes our squad significantly weaker, people. So let's see what happens in that regards, people. And big up everyone. Please make sure you hit the like button. Away from that, though, let me offer my thoughts on the game.